Hey, it's snowing today, so what a great day to make a video about fire. Okay, so here we go. We're going to show you how to light this fire here. This is our pop-up fire pit right here. I've done a display on this one before. And what we're going to do, we're just going to build the fire in the base of this pit right here. I will adjust the camera a little bit so you can see it. But as you can see, you've shown up. There's a picnic table here. We're going to pretend that this is some type of a raised platform. It may or may not be full of snow, who knows, but you can clean it out and you may have a platform like this that you can start your fire in. So what we're going to do here is we have a couple of different fire starters. Now I wanted to show you naturally what you can do. This one here is just one of those little fire starter packets that you can buy from the store, and all you do is light it, you build your fire, you light it, you put it underneath it, and it will make the fire go. But I want to show you another thing here. This is called fat wood right here, and some of you may be familiar with this, but what this basically is, it's natural wood, and you can actually find it out on a day like today. It's just the wood from a pine tree that is soaked in the resin from the pine, and this will light pretty easy once you get it going there. So if you were out somewhere and your fire starters were wet or you didn't have enough stuff, and you could light this with a match or a lighter. You could, if you found an old pine tree that was knocked over or something like that, you could dig down into the base of that pine tree in either the heartwood or down into the taproot or something like that, and you could actually pull out some of this right here, and even if it's wet, this stuff will still light. I also recommend, if you're going to be camping, because this is not a survival video, you bring yourself a lighter, because this is going to make it that much easier, or bring some matches and those type of things. So today we're going to use the lighter to light this fat wood. Alright, so let's get into building the fire itself. Okay, when you're going to build a fire, I talked about the fat wood that you're going to need to use. You're also going to need 3 different types of wood, and I pre-collected most of these already. You're going to want what we call some tinder, and that's going to be essentially what that fire starter is. And you're going to use tinder if you don't have some type of a fire starter like that, but it's the stuff that you can light with a match. And then you've got this little kindling, which is really, really small wood right here, and once that tinder is going, it's enough to light this kindling. But this won't burn very long, so you're going to need something that's actually going to give you some coals and give you some heat. And that's when you get into your bigger pieces of wood, and these are called the fuel right here. So the the tinder lights the kindling, and the kindling gets light enough or hot enough to light the fuel. And then this is what's going to give you your heat, these fuel pieces right here. So I'm going to reposition the camera so we can see what's going on here, and hopefully we're going to get our fire started. Okay, so here we go with our fire pit, and we're going to get this going here. So, what we're going to do here is, we're going to get our small pieces of kindling all ready to go, broken up, out of our pile here. And one thing you didn't see was going out and collecting all of this, but I did go out here in the snow, back in the woods over there, and I did collect some of this right here. So first thing you're going to do, you're just going to pile in your kindling right here. This is going to be essentially your tinder, but this is your fire starter. And all you got to do is put this underneath. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you, or actually what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to light it first. But this is fat wood, so fat wood will light, because it's got that resin on the inside. So I kind of block the wind a little bit. Once the lighter decides to work, we'll get a new lighter. Okay, everyone, that right there is real life. What you want to do is have a redundant means of lighting a fire, because that has happened before, which is why I was carrying more. I've got these stormproof matches, and we're actually going to use some of these instead of the lighter there. So, put an extra one over there, and pretty simple, you just strike it. This will not blow out in the wind, these stormproof matches. And what we've got here is, this will light the fat wood, the resin in that will get going, and there we go. Now we have our fat wood going. Okay, see, that's why we bring an extra match, because it actually blew out on us. But once this fat wood gets going, it's going to go. There you have it. The fat wood is now lit. protect it from the wind until that resin actually catches. You can't quite see it here, but it's actually bubbling on the end of this right here. That's all that resin inside of there that's going. So now all we got to do, got our fat wood on here, is just put our kindling on. And you don't want to put on so much that you actually snuff it out. You want to stack it up just enough so that first off, it's got to dry this kindling because it's wet. And then, because this fat wood will just keep on burning, it will dry it. And this fire will get lit. So what we're going to do, we're going to time lapse this a little bit here, and we're going to jump ahead so that we can see exactly how this thing is going here. Okay, so there we go. The fat wood is starting to get the kindling going, so you're getting some good flames going here. And what we can do, especially on a day like today, we're going to add a little bit larger stuff on here so that it can kind of start drying a little bit, and then it should get burning. This is all you're doing. This is why you have to collect all of your stuff ahead of time, which is why I went out there and got it, because the one thing you don't want to do right now is try to run out there and get some more wood and run back and try to get this going and run back out there again. Have all of your supplies close at hand right here so that all you have to do is tend to this fire, reach over, grab your supplies of whatever you're going to need, and you can get your fire going good. Because I see a lot of people make that mistake, and it's actually kind of a rookie mistake they make there, is that they want this thing to get going, so they grab a little bit of stuff they need to get it lit, then they run back and they come back and they almost never get a fire started because they didn't have time to sit here and actually get this thing burning the way it's supposed to be burning. So we're going to time lapse just a little bit more. I'm not going to make this thing too big because we're just doing a demonstration here, but I'm going to jump ahead about 5 minutes or so and kind of show you what it looks like. Alright, so now what I've done is I've put some of the slightly larger pieces on there. This is about as big as I'm going to go for this demonstration right here. But by putting those larger pieces on there right now, they're wet. There's enough heat coming up from underneath of it. Notice how the smoke always follows you no matter where you stand. But there's enough heat coming up underneath it that's going to dry out that wood. And then by the time it's ready to catch fire, it'll be dry and it'll get going. So, whew, lots of smoke. That's always the axiom. No matter which way you turn or which way you go, that smoke tends to want to follow you. So that's pretty much right there. I just want to give you a little bit of demonstration of what it takes and some of the techniques really to get a fire going in the outdoors. See, this thing is going really good right now. This piece of fat wood, this underneath right here, this is the actual fat wood. You can see how that's burning. It's doing good. Just tuck that back underneath. And it'll keep going no matter how wet it is. But this is it. So Discovering in Color, I'm the Gadget Man. Just wanted to give you guys some helpful hints for starting a fire. And just don't remember the 3 things you need. You need some tinder, you need kindling, and you need fuel. Okay? And you also need air and heat. That's what gets a fire going. So with that, Discovering in Color. Glad you guys made it. I can take my gloves off now and enjoy this a little bit. Okay? It is a beautiful day out here. It doesn't snow that much in Oklahoma. We've got some really good snowball snow. So hey, here you go. Catch. That's it. Take care. Catch you guys on the trail.